Hey guys, we are live. Hope you guys can see this now on Facebook. We are live. Hey everyone, my name is Sandra Noemi Torres. I am the founder and president of United Latinas and a member of the steering committee for the Hispanic Business Leaders Organization, where we are holding a month-long events for Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm so excited to be part of that project. And today I want to welcome to you our business keynote speaker for next week, for September 22nd, Manny Lopez. Manny is the CEO of From Orphan to CEO and Network of Influence. And I want to share a little bit about his talk. He's going to share a little bit about his talk and really get to know Manny more. Welcome, Manny.
Excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Sandra.
Yay. So tell us first what you do wholly.
Sure. So I would say the simplest way to kind of put it is I help people create digital platforms, right? I take what their message is and I help them expand that and scale that using digital means, whether it's apps, I do PR kind of stuff. And I've taken those skill sets I've been getting kind of implemented with businesses for the last 10 years. And I've taken that to an educational system. This is why my focus today is on a project called From Orphan to CEO. And we teach on this concept of serving your way to success.
I love that. That's so powerful. And that's going to be the name of your talk. So share just a little bit. We don't want to give everything away, but share just a little bit about that concept itself.
Sure. Well, it's really the idea that everybody has a genius inside of them. And in order for them to understand how to unlock that genius and turn that into your business, that is what I teach on, right? How to take an idea that you have, something that I like to call the art of business. You focus on finding an audience that you can work with, somebody that cannot check off the 3 E's, things that are easy, exciting to learn about and talk about, and you have experience with. When you get paid for something, you can easily check off those 3 E's. The people that pay you will be the ones that cannot. They cannot check off those 3 E's. They can't go to learn about what you do and get excited to do it. And so by serving your way to success, it's the concept of teaching in a very strategic way, where you don't just focus on building an email list, you don't focus on driving traffic to your website or trying to get followers on social media, which is what most of everybody is doing. I'm going to show you a different way to where you get literally 8 times more results than your email list right now by serving, by publicly giving everything away for free.
Yeah. And, I've witnessed that from you. I've witnessed that when I first connected with you and you invited me to that networking event and on that networking platform. And I see a lot of your givingness, and you give quality information at those events and those networking functions. So I love that. I love that. And that's why I reached out to you, because I'm like, you know what, this is the epitome of, like, for business, the idea to serve and to give out information without feeling like you need to hold back, and knowing that will come around and the right people are going to hire you to do business with.
If you just simply understand the sales process, right? The National Sales Executive Association came out a few years ago with a report showing the actual process of sales that showed that on the very first contact, when you meet somebody for the first time, 2% of sales happen on that contact. By your third contact, you've only brought in 10% of what your capacity is. And this is where 9 out of 10 entrepreneurs are staying. They never go past 3 connections. I mean, think about it. We all think, oh, well, they didn't buy by the 3rd time we reached out to them. They're not interested. No, that's only 1 out of 10 people actually buy in that process. I focus on the 80% of sales that happen somewhere between 5 to 12 contacts in. So if you focus on serving, that's just literally just saying, hey, this is the process of how I get paid hundreds or thousands of dollars for what I do. And I'm going to show you how to do it for free, because you create a digital version of you. And I show you how to do that, where you can literally just take your smartphone, no extra systems needed. You can just download 2 apps to your phone for free and facilitate this process. It's really fun.
I love it. I can't wait to learn, what it is that you're going to be sharing. It's exciting.
And
So
I've
give
got all
us,
these in blueprints too. So there's some nice little step-by-steps that you guys will access as well.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So if you're watching this, make sure you bring a notepad at this event. It's going to be filled with lots of good goodies in there.
Get your notepads ready. That's for sure. I definitely like to lay out a lot of the process step by step, and I am no filter. You guys are going to get the exact processes I use, the systems I use, literally the verbatim verbiage I use, so I can give you guys exactly how I get results. And I'll give you an example of how this works. I have a program where I only take on 100 clients a year. That's as max as I can do in my consulting business. I have close to 4,000 applications in that program with $0 in spent ads. Simply serving my way to success allows me to max out my opportunities from people who already see me as an expert. They already have access to my do-it-yourself version, and they are saying, I need more help, please help me. And they're filling out questionnaires to say, here's everything that I'm doing, here's everything about my business, please help me. And I mean, this is the consulting dream, right? Is to have a maxed out opportunities of where you could just pick and choose who you want to collaborate with. And that's what I'm going to teach you guys how to do.
I love that. And I love the servitude portion of that. You're literally serving them, but it's the idea of serving our fellow man, and for serving each other in the right way. People fail at that. They're not wholly great at doing that, or don't know how to do that. What would you recommend, I guess, like, people are so hesitant to give out their gold, their wisdom, the things that they acquired. Like, what would you suggest to get somebody out of that frame of mind in general?
Understand this one statistic. 97% of the time when you give it away for free, they take absolutely no action without you. They see you as the expert. They're not going to go hire somebody else. They're not going to go find somebody cheaper. They're not going to go do it on their own and just skip the process. They are literally going to see you as the expert. And when they need help, they're coming to you first. So what I do is I teach you how to strategically position yourself in that type of format, knowing everyone you give it to most likely are not going to take any action. And this is where entrepreneurs really get stuck. They, let's say, give it away for free. They give them an ebook. They give them access to their courses. They give them some video series or whatever it may be. And they go and follow up and find out, oh, they didn't read my book yet. Oh, they're just not interested. Move on to the next. No, that's strategically, that's the best position you want to be in, where you say, look, you're stuck, right? Well, let me help you more. Let me get on a call with you to show you how this works. Let me show you a process of how to get this implemented with a simple step-by-step. And if you're a coach or a consultant, you're a speaker, you're an author, this is a really good strategy on how to implement what you do and get paid to do it. Because what will end up happening is 3 out of 100 will go and try to implement without you. Maybe they get results. Well, document that. Ask them to share that feedback. That becomes testimonials. That becomes your case study data. That becomes your JV partners that tell everybody how great your process is if you can get results, right? The other 97, well, now those are your prospects that are end up going to hire you because they can't check off those 3 E's. You ask them about your process. Nope, that's not easy for them. Nope, they aren't excited to go learn about it. Heck, they wouldn't even watch your videos or read your ebook, right? That's not exciting for them. And they have no experience in getting results with that. So when you can say, look, it's easy for me. I'm excited to go learn about it. I definitely have experience with this. I'll do this for you, or I'll teach you how to do this step by step. That's all they need. They need somebody to walk them through the maze. You've walked through this maze 100 times. You know how to get there really quickly. You can get out of that maze in just, bam, a short amount of time. But imagine you walking in that maze for the very first time, right? You took a left, you got stuck, you got to a wall, you're like, oh man, I don't know where to go, right? And if you had somebody to guide you in that process, well, fear is now thrown out the window. You know you're going to get out there. Now it's just a fact of how much time. This is where that art of business comes in. The audience that you work with, the result that you can get for them, and the time frame you can get that result in. If you can document that process, that becomes how you get paid. That becomes your gift to the world. You can give away for free and just utilize a very strategic process to turn those potential clients into actual clients. And then everybody else you can serve for free. You never have to worry about them paying you a dime. I mean, I have literally 99% of the people I come across, I never expect to pay me. And I still have almost 4,000 applications into my program.
Wow, that's so awesome. I mean, I love that. I love that concept, and it's true. You know, it's absolutely true.
I mean,
So
there's no real lack of opportunity. That's where people think like, oh my gosh, if I share my process, they're not going to hire me. No one's going to do business with me. In reality, no, they share you more. They talk about you more because now they're not worried about someone trying to sell them, right? People share my content, tag all their friends. No worries that Manny's going to try and sell them anything at the end of that live stream. They know it's just pure value, pure gold that they're just going to be able to get access to and can implement today. And looking at the numbers, you know, I was the same way. I thought, oh, I can't share this. Oh, they're not going to hire me. They're going to go do it without me. When in reality, I realize how lazy people really are. They will rather delegate it or pay somebody to teach them how to do it to get there faster versus them sitting there spinning their wheels for months on end and getting nowhere.
yep, yep, and that's the life. It's funny. I just got off the phone with somebody, and it was the same thing. This is an executive, you know, business coach, and you know, we're just kind of chatting about this, and he's not an implementer. You know, there are people out there that just don't implement the marketing and branding aspect to continue to build that relationship and just all the pieces in place. They just don't implement it. They know it. We have a lot of knowledge, but not a
Yeah.
lot of people implement it, and it's true.
Just like Les Brown says, man. I mean, if reading could get you could get results, right? Everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy, right? But in reality, it's the implementation that people always fail on. Is they just consume all this knowledge. They're sponges for knowledge, and yet action is where the results happen, and they're not taking any action.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I observe that all the time. So it's. I love that. I love that you mentioned it, and people need to hear that stuff because they know it and they don't know what's that trigger. So tell me about from Orphan to CEO. Tell me about the projects you're working on. Tell me a little bit about that stuff.
Sure. So in 2017, this is when I changed my business model from selling my way to success to serving my way to success. And it was all part because of this program. So January 27th, I have this conversation with God, and I'll explain how this conversation went on our next interview. But this situation is where it changed everything for me, right? It was a clear message to help the orphans. And I come from the foster care system myself. At 18 months, I was left in a car, nothing but a diaper on. Shortly after that experience, me and my sister are put into foster care, and we bounce around home to home to home for years until we finally get a forever family. But I ended up just like these kids that age out. And if people don't know what that means, aging out means you either turn 18 or 21, depending on the state that you live in, and now you are on your own, right? You no longer have anybody taking care of you. And they supposedly get these kids ready to go out into the real world. Well, here's what happens. 2 out of 3 of these kids within just 1 year are either dead, homeless, or in jail. And that really stuck to me when I first found that out, and seeing that, wow, these kids are really not getting set up for success. You know, what changed for me? Because I was homeless twice by the time I was 24 years old, but today I'm a paid consultant to over 1,000 brands worldwide. I'm named one of the best by Facebook when they hit 1 million advertisers. I have an award-winning educational platform that's now in 77 different countries with over 16,000 students. How did I do that? Well, 3 simple things. And I've interviewed over 50 millionaires and asked them, what is the winning formula? And the consistent thing I kept finding over and over again were these same 3 things. We're not getting taught these 3 things in school. It's as simple as this: mentorship, entrepreneurship, and faith. If these kids had a mentor, they had somebody they can look up to like I did. I saw Les Brown, right? He was a foster kid just like me. He ended up adopted, labeled mentally challenged in school. I had all of these similar challenges he had grown up with, and yet I can look at him as an example that it was possible to become an entrepreneur. It's possible for me to build my own dream. You got to find somebody who's already been where you want to be. Learn from them, grow from them, because you can't learn from somebody who has not done what you are trying to do. That is a true mentor. Entrepreneurship, that is your vehicle to build your own dream, so you don't have to wait for permission to build someone else's. and then faith. This is your foundation, that you have a purpose. You have a genius inside of you that you can serve the world with, and they will pay you to teach them how to do that. That could be your life's work, where you're not waiting for permission to build someone else's dream. You're building your own. And for Orphan, a CEO is to change that statistic. I don't want to see 2 out of 3 of these kids dead, homeless, or in jail. I want to see 2 out of 3 of these kids have a mentor, understand entrepreneurship, and own their own business. And that's what my program does. We created our own educational system. It's called the Manifestation School of Business, completely free to the world. There's no subscription to it. There's no cost to it. I put over $250,000 into this platform already, and still growing. This is what we now have over 16,000 students globally on. We're in 77 different countries, and the platform's been translated in 22 languages so far. We want to teach these kids how to start a business. So I bring in all of the best people I possibly can bring in for my Rolodex. We've got the founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the founder of Operation Underground Railroad, right? We have Les Brown, Caleb Maddox. We have millionaires and billionaires that are coming in and sharing what is it that they're doing that the rest of us aren't, right? How are they winning and everyone else is losing? 97% of entrepreneurs are failing. They are not getting results. They can barely get by. Then we add on COVID, and how is that going to make things even any easier? So you got to look at the fact of, you got to learn from people that have already trekked the way. So I bring them in. I have a whole community of entrepreneurs that they get to connect and collaborate. So it makes it a great win-win scenario for our contributors. But they come in and they share, what do these kids need to know on how to become successful? So we get all these people to directly talk to these kids. They say, hey, from Orphan to CEO students, here's what you need to know. Here's how to do what you are trying to do. And then they open up their Rolodex and say, hey, join us, collaborate with us. We'll teach you how to do it. We've had Les Brown hire a lot of our students already, and a lot of them have already created massive results with what they do. So it's just a continuation of saying, I can take what I'm already skilled at and what I'm doing in business, apply that to something I'm really passionate about, and solve challenges that our community are just not solving. And this is what entrepreneurs need to do. You need to find a Tom Shoes business model. Every time somebody comes into my company and does business with me, we're creating more scholarships, we're creating more education and more resources to the From Orphan to CEO project. This is why our students and our contributors have to pay $0, nothing. $0 to access all of our resources, and everyone can do something just like this.
Wow, that's so inspirational, and I love it. I love, how can somebody get involved with you or follow your platforms, and maybe we could share that in the links below as well. But
well, what I do, I'm like one of these crazy speakers that will literally give you my cell phone number, right? I'm accessible. I use automation. This is what I've been known for since 2011, is how to automate and duplicate. So I have a lot of my automation that handles majority of the processes of my business. I just like to stay personal and connect with the people. So if you have a question, if you want to connect, you want to contribute, you want to volunteer, you want to show up at events, you want to get some free resources, just send me a text message. My number is 714-369-8528. If you text me the word gifts, right, I'll send you my platform. You get access to Manifestation. There's over 20 gifts you can access, promote your business, get featured on our platform, have your videos, submit a video to us where you're just talking directly to our From Orphan to CEO students. We'll feature it on our platform. So we have all kinds of resources, and it's completely free. So it doesn't cost you anything to become one of our contributors.
Manny, I'm so excited to have you speak next week on September 22nd. I think that you're going to bring so much value to people, and you're going to hit a lot of buttons that are going to be wake-up calls for a lot of individuals. And I'm so blessed that you accepted our invitation. And again, thank you so very much. Do you have any additional words that you want to leave anybody with before we end this?
For me, I really started my entrepreneur journey finding this quote where I was working a 9-to-5 job, having a stressful day, and I was on lunch break, and I literally Googled like motivational quotes, clicked on images, and this was the very first image, and that quote has stuck with me ever since. And that is, I believe that we are all created for greatness, not mediocrity. We are to strive to be agents of change as we attempt to leave this world a better place than we found it. And that, I think, my friends, is something that we can all live by. Strive to be agents of true change. We all have a genius inside of us. Go out there, find it, nurture it, and give it away for free, and watch the magic that happens from that.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for this live. Stay on for a second afterwards. But thank you again for this opportunity for people to hear a little bit about what you're going to be offering. Guys, don't forget to register next week. We'll put the registration link below, but the links are everywhere. Make sure that you tune in. This Hispanic Heritage Month is about providing value to you guys, about changing the game, about making sure that we're all implementing and taking action on the things in and on our life, and making the world a better place, uniting, serving. And I love that that's what we're doing. So make sure you tune in next week. Manny, thank you so much for this.
Thank you. This is fun. I always love to serve. So whenever we have a chance to do that, I'm in.
Thank you.